I'm doing this machine the other day. I have no idea what it does. Just this kind of... And the bad thing about this machine is that my eyes are in a real vulnerable spot, right? They've strategically placed the bendy down eyeball machine with this machine right here. You seen this? Yeah.
Hello again, this is Eric with New York Natives Underground Comedy Series. Today I will be speaking with Jeff Dye, hilarious worldwide touring comedian and star of MTV's Money from Strangers. I'll be talking to Jeff about comedy, the scene, touring, anything he wants to talk about. He's a great guy. He's a hilarious guy. You're going to love him. So let's start this interview right now.
I don't know what this machine does, but I know you should have to do it at home. That's what I think.
Well, you're originally from Seattle.
Seattle,
right?
Washington. Yeah.
And your first experience in New York City as a comedian was where?
I headlined at Gotham Comedy Club.
Okay.
They were headlining me before I was on Last Comic Standing, before I did any TV.
Okay.
So they were great to me.
Yeah.
But I thought that was New York comedy. Like just like any other room. Yeah, there's a host and then a middle act and then the headliner.
Right.
So when I actually had to move here for Money from Strangers, which we taped in New York City, everyone's like, nah, Nate Bargatze, all these guys are like, no, we'll show you. There's great spots. You go, there's the cellar and there's this and there's that and there's this and that. So someone called in and recommended me. He called them and said, this kid's great. I work with him at Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa Beach. So my first set here was my audition.
Oh, wow.
And Steve was like, you're in, you're good. So every time I come here, I just tell her, and I do sets here, and I'm happy to only do sets here. I love it.
Were you nervous about doing a spot here? I mean, because...
I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you because, one, I don't get nervous very often doing comedy. It's like the only thing in my life I don't really stress about. It's like the one thing I'm good at.
Right.
Like I get nervous about tests. Trying to do math up there, I'd be a mess.
Have you had any like really rough New York City gigs?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple shows, afterwards, where, like I did like a teen tour where they're like, hey, we have a bunch of like high school kids or like junior high kids that we booked you because we heard you're cleaner. And I'm like, stuff like that, but
right.
nothing just straight comedy.
I'm trying to date these ladies. I get so excited when it might happen, Like this girl the other night emailed me. She's like, I really wish I could come to your show. And I was like, oh, maybe you should. And she's like, I can't. And I was like, why not? And she's like, I'm 15. I was like, we shouldn't be talking online, I don't think. Delete. And if you've ever said YOLO, we shouldn't be hanging out.
Good heckler stories.
Wow. And this guy yelled something, and I was like, what? And he goes, I said you look like Jim from The Office. And I was like, no, why would you yell that? Plus, you just think I look like that because my hair. I have like flippy hair.
Oh, yeah,
that's all it is. And then he goes, no, it's your eyes. What?
An only in New York story.
I'm on a show where just crazy stuff happens all the time. Basically, I have strangers prank strangers, and they go into like stores, and I tell them what to say and do. Like in LA, if you did that, people would be like, oh, is this some show? But like here, they're just like, no, we get crazy people all the time. Go to the comic book section that's just behind you right now. Now just stand there and read that.
And ask the guy next to you. Ask him if he knows the first rule of Fight Club.
Do you know the first rule of Fight Club?
No.
Well, I just broke it.
I just broke it.
Your parents, your family, do they appreciate the career choice you've made?
And I remember telling them when I wanted to do stand-up, they were like, no, you could do that. No, like it was almost like they were like, yeah, you can be a smart ass on stage and make money. Like, so I've always gotten great support from them since I decided to be a comic, for sure.
I love bad bitches, that's my fucking problem. If you're older and you don't good, that's a hip-hop joke. I like to do a clean show. But for that line, I have to curse because it's in the rap. My mom, she always gets mad about that. She's like, you shouldn't use that potty mouth. I was like, no, Mom, it's a rap song. That's why I do it, because it's funny. I'm not like a rap guy, and if I say it like a rap thing, it's funny. They know the song. She's like, well, I didn't raise you like that. I was like, I know, but it's kind of funny. I think it's good. I'm going to keep it for a little while. She's like, well, I don't like it. And I was like, all right. Stop coming to the shows, bitch.
And if you weren't doing comedy, what would you be doing?
Homeless guy. That's plan B. It was comedy or homeless guy. I like serving, actually. The guy, I felt like I was a really good waiter.
Oh.
And that's not like a real highly aspiring job or anything, but I wanted to be a comic, so it worked out. Yeah.
Anyways, you guys have been great. Thanks for having me.